Hello everyone, my name is Sarafi and I'm happy to meet you all. And today, finally, my 3 copies of the Crimson King structure deck came in for Resonators. This is giving me basically everything that I was missing for Resonators. So, this is a really cool structure deck that just came out. It's about $13, and there's 45 cards in here. I'm sorry, hold on. Never mind, there's 50 cards in here. So this is a really good deal. But I just wanted to review the product for you guys, kind of talk about the cards, and talk about how much I think they're worth, kind of so that you guys can understand, if you like Resonators, what sort of value this box might bring to you, because it's available. You can get it if you want to. Let's take a look. First up, we have this sick playmat, the Scarred Dragon Archfiend playmat, and on the back of it is a handy little combo guide. It tells you, some suggestions for lines on how to play Resonators. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like this a lot. There's no pen zones, but otherwise it looks great. You can always use a mat, and this mat looks pretty good. So I would say that the mat itself probably worth about 50 cents. So there you go. Free value right there. All right. Next up, I don't want to rip the box, but getting these cards out without ripping the box is impossible. Oh God. Why do they do this? I have 2 more copies of the box. There we go. Okay. It's a whole deck right there. First up, we have Soul Resonator. This is a level 3 Fiend Tuner. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 level 4 or lower Fiend monster from your deck to your hand except Soul Resonator. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Dark Synchro monsters. If a card you control will be destroyed by a card effect, while you control Red Dragon Archfiend or a Synchro monster that mentions it, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead, once per turn on both effects. So this is a search and a protection. Really, really good, really powerful card. Definitely a 3 of in Resonators. It's a level 3 tuner monster. So you want to make it level 2, which you can do with Bone Archfiend. I would say that this card is probably 60 cents. It's pretty good. Next up, we have Vision Resonator. A little bit of a hollow there. This card can special summon itself if you control a level 5, or if there's a level 5 or higher dark monster on the field, on either player's field. And when it's sent to the graveyard, you can add a spell or trap that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend from your deck to your hand. So, solid card there as well. This is a special card. I don't know if you guys have seen the 5Ds anime. This card is very, very important. Everyone's king. Human. A foolish king once forsook his land and his friends, but his scarred soul was saved by a compassionate heart. He was determined to live his own destiny, shall save the world and become the true king, giver of happiness and loved by all. 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense. Definitely holding on to that. All right, we got a full extra here. So let me just pull this stacked extra out so you guys can see this. This is a whopping 10 extra deck cards in one box. We got Red Dragon Archfiend himself, along with Red Rising Dragon. Red Supernova Dragon, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity, 2 copies of Scarred Dragon Archfiend. Oh no, I'm sorry. Scarred Dragon Archfiend and then Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend. The art looks very similar if you're not looking carefully at it. They're basically just the same dragon but pointed in different directions. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. This is a negate. So Red Supernova Dragon banishes the entire field. Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend destroys the field. And Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss is an Omni negate. So all these cards are really, really good. Then we got Bane and Red Nova Dragon. So, I mean, I would say the extra deck alone, probably about $7. Because the negate is really, really strong. Red Supernova Dragon is a repeatable banish. Red Supernova Dragon is dumb. Here, I'll show you. Must first be synchro summoned. Gains 500 attack for each tuner in your graveyard. It cannot be destroyed by an opponent's card effects. Once per turn, when the opponent's monster's effect is activated, or when an opponent's monster declares an attack as a quick effect, you can activate this effect, banish this card, also banish all cards your opponent controls. So that is a soft once per turn. And for a while, that was all it could do. But they released a new card in the structure deck called Red Zone, which, let me pull that out real quick. Red Zone, and what Red Zone says is once per turn, you can target one of your banished Dark Dragon Synchro monsters and special summon it. So you activate your Red Zone, you revive your Red Supernova Dragon, then when your opponent activates an effect again, you banish all their cards again. So the ability to just constantly banish all of your opponent's cards is insane. And then you also have Scarlight to pop the entire board, Scarred Dragon Archfiend to pop the entire board, and you have King Calamity to just shut their turn off. So this is really good. I like this. Okay. Bone Archfiend, level 4 Dark Fiend monster. If this card is in your hand or in your graveyard, you can send one other card from your hand or your field to the graveyard. Special summon this card. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Dark Dragon Synchros. That's a pretty heavy lock, but you can make a 15 extra deck Dark Dragon Synchros, no problem. You can target one face-up monster you control that has a level. Send one Fiend Tuner from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, increase or decrease that monster's level by 1. So this is a great card to pair with Soul Resonator. Soul Resonator searches it, and then this card will turn Soul Resonator into either level 2, so you can go into a Red Rising Dragon, or into a level 4, so you can immediately go into a level 8. Whatever you need. And it allows you to mill Crimson Resonator so that you can revive it with your Red Rising Dragon. So Bone Archfiend, absolutely crazy card. Dark Resonator is bad. Creation Resonator, a good one of. If you control a level 8 or higher synchro monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, not once per turn. Level 3 tuner. It's kind of awkward because there's no level 11 synchro you want to make, but you have to use it with something else. You can use it with your Synchron Resonator to go into a Red Nova Dragon or something. Speaking of Synchron Resonator. Level 1, if a synchro monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand, but you can only do that once per turn. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target a Resonator monster in your graveyard, except Synchron Resonator, and add it to your hand. Very good. Red Resonator, when it's normal summon, you can special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your hand. So if you brick, then that's good. You can use that to summon Witch of the Black Forest or something, which we're not running. But, I mean, if you want to play Red Resonator, there you go. And if this card is special summon, you can target a monster on the field and gain life points equal to its attack points, which is really good for Resonators. Crimson. Special summon it for free if you control no monsters. And then once per turn, if the only other monster you control is one Dark Dragon Synchro monster, you can special summon 2 Resonator monsters from your hand or your deck. Special summoning 2 monsters from the deck is crazy. This card makes it so that Soul Resonator plus 1 card in your hand is an immediate Red Supernova Dragon. Because you just normal summon Soul Resonator, you add your Bone Archfiend, discard 1 card for Bone Archfiend. Bone Archfiend, mill the Crimson Resonator, turn the Soul Resonator to level 2, synchro into the Red Rising Dragon. Red Rising Dragon revives the Crimson Resonator from your graveyard. Crimson Resonator special summons 2 level 2s from your deck. Then 6 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. That gives you 3 tuners and 1 Dark Dragon Synchro monster to go into your Red Supernova Dragon. And you still like have the rest of your hand. So, absolutely insane. Vice Dragon, bad card. Battle Fader, really funny. I think this is the only hand trap in the deck. Really funny card, not going to play it. Red Sprinter, you guys probably recognize this card from Duel Links. Not good enough anymore. Red Warg, this is a level 6 monster that can special summon itself when you normal summon a Resonator monster, but only from the hand. That's an interesting idea, but it conflicts with Crimson Resonator's requirement, so you probably don't want to do it. Wiring King Wildwin, infinite number of times per turn, you can special summon this card from your hand if you control a Fiend-type tuner, and then it can banish itself to search a Resonator. Both those effects are pretty good, so that card might see play in the deck. Phantom King Hydride, this is a level 3 Fiend tuner, and if you use it as synchro material, it can also be a non-tuner, which is kind of a cute effect, but it doesn't have a way to special summon itself, so bad. Magical King Moonstar, you can special summon this card from your hand if you control a tuner, and if this card is special summoned, you can target one other face-up monster you control, and that card's level becomes the same as that monster, but you cannot special summon except by synchro summoning. Cute effect. Absolute King Backjack. This is in the deck for a very specific reason, just because it's Jack Atlas. During your opponent's turn, you can banish this card from your graveyard, excavate the top card of your deck, and if it's a normal trap, send it to the field, otherwise send it to the graveyard. Bad card, but very funny. We also have Red Dragon Archfiend Assault Mode, just so this can be the ultimate RDA deck. Not playing that, by the way. Then we have the Psy Reflector and the Assault Beast for the Assault Mode package. If you want to play Assault Mode, there you go. Then we have Ascator Dawnwalker and Fire and Ascator. Ascator Dawnwalker is discard a card and special summon it from your hand, then Fire and Ascator from your deck, immediate level 8. That's a cool idea. Definitely an option. I'm going to keep that in my pocket, you know. Some metas will demand that I play 3 copies of Ascator and some metas won't. But it's good that I have it. You know, that's a great engine for Resonators to have in their pocket. Then we have 2 danger cards, Nessie and Chupacabra. Probably not. Danger's not really all that good, unless you're playing like an entire deck full of them, but it's a cute option. Witch of the Black Forest is the last monster. Obviously, that has synergy with a lot of Resonator cards. Now let's get into the spells. Pot of Extravagance. This is a cool card. At the start of your main phase 1, banish 3 or 6 random face-down cards from your X deck, and draw 1 card for each card banished. For the rest of the turn after the effect resolves, you cannot draw cards by card effects. It's an interesting idea. It's really not good in Resonators, because Resonators in particular really need their Red Rising Dragon to be on the field. So if you accidentally banish all 3 copies of your Red Rising Dragon, you can't do anything at all. So I wouldn't play Pot of Extravagance in Resonators, but it's a card. It's like a staple card, so even if you don't use it in this deck, it's a good card to have 3 copies of. Absolute Power Force. Your RDA, if it battles, it gains 1,000 attack. Your opponent can activate any cards or effects. If it attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing, and any battle damage your opponent takes is doubled. This has synergy with Crimson Gaia, because Crimson Gaia forces all your opponent's monsters face down when your RDA attacks. So it's a cool idea. It's a searchable card because it mentions Red Dragon Archfiend, but it only works on Red Dragon Archfiend, so probably not the best card. Crimson Gaia. I have no idea why this card is not, like, ultra rare. That's kind of sad. L on Konami's part there. This card has 3 effects, and they're all really good. It's a continuous spell card. During your main phase, you can add 1 Red Dragon Archfiend or 1 card that mentions it from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except Crimson Gaia. It specifically says that you can add from the graveyard so that you can Ghost Spell it. Love that, Konami. Thank you very much for making my main searcher double hand trappable. I appreciate it. When your Red Dragon Archfiend declares an attack, you can change all monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. Excellent. And then, if a monster on the field is destroyed by battle card effect, you can special summon 1 Red Dragon Archfiend from your graveyard, which also applies to Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend and I believe Scarred Dragon Archfiend. Let me verify that. So Scarlet is definitely RDA. Yes, Scarred is also RDA. So you have 3 targets in the deck. Very, very good card. All 3 effects hard once per turn, but that's fine. Resonator Engine, target 2 Resonators in your graveyard, add 1 level 4 monster from your deck to your hand, and if you do, return those targets to the deck. Not good. Resonator Call, here we go! 3 copies of Resonator Call, add a Resonator from your deck to your hand. You draw your Soul Resonator if you don't have it. You draw Vision and Resonator if you do have it. If you have Vision and you have Soul, then you use it to bait Ash. Fantastic card. 3 copies, easy. Resonator Command. Discard 1 Resonator monster, add 1 level 4 or lower Fiend monster from your deck to your hand. You can only activate 1 Resonator command per turn. That's cute. That allows you to draw your Bone Archfiend. And potentially, like, if you open your Crimson Resonator, it lets you put Crimson Resonator in the graveyard. Probably not. Burning Soul, last spell card. If you control a level 8 or higher Synchro monster, add 1 card from your graveyard to your hand, except Burning Soul. Then immediately after this effect resolves, Synchro Summon using monsters you control as material. For the rest of the turn after this card resolves, your opponent cannot target Synchro monsters on the field with card effects. You can only activate 1 Burning Soul per turn. So what this is a way to play Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity on your opponent's turn. So you have to set that up, but then you can Burning Soul to immediately Calamity, and you can do this during the draw phase. It's not like most synchro, most quick synchro is required to be activated during the main phase for some reason. This can be used during the draw phase. It's searchable because it does. No, it's not searchable. It does not list Red Dragon Archfiend as a card. Well, I mean, it's definitely an option if you want to Calamity Lock, but you're gonna have to play 3 copies of it and then hope that you draw it. But it will definitely win you games going first. So I'm gonna experiment. I'm gonna see what I like about this card, if it's good or not. All right, traps. Red Zone we already talked about. Oh, it also has an effect. So it obviously revives a monster that's been banished, but it also has an effect. When your opponent activates a card or effect while you control Red Dragon Archfiend or a Synchro that mentions it, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. Both effects hard once per turn. Fiendish Golem. Target 1 monster on the field with 2,000 or more attack, banish it until the end phase of the next turn. Then, if you activate this card while you controlled Red Dragon Archfiend or a Synchro monster that mentioned it, you can set 1 Fiendish Chain directly from your deck or graveyard. Fiendish Chain, of course, is just a monster negates that also prevents a monster from attacking. So, cute idea. You obviously can't activate the Fiendish Chain the turn that it's set. We have Assault Mode activate. I'm just going to bring that up and put it away. Next up, Powerful Rebirth. This is a card that was used by Jack a lot in the anime. It's bad. It's a Call of the Haunted that also raises the monster's level by 1. King's Synchro. No Jack Deckless deck would be complete without this. Here's the art. Jack literally just Synchro summoning. When your opponent declares an attack on a Synchro monster you control, negate the attack, then you can apply the rest of the card's effect, banish that Synchro monster, and 1 tuner from your graveyard, and if you do, special summon from your extra deck 1 Synchro monster whose levels equal the total level of the banished monster had. This is treated as a Synchro summon. So, if you have, if your opponent attacks your Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, which is a level 9, you can activate this effect, negate the attack, banish the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, and the Soul Resonator from your graveyard. That's a level 3 tuner or level 9 non-tuner. You can immediately summon King Calamity, or you can summon Red Nova Dragon, or Red Supernova Dragon. You can literally summon any of them. None of them require to be Synchro summoned. So, King Synchro, very, very funny card. Does not mention Red Dragon Archfiend, not searchable. Probably not. Red Rain. Red Rain is kind of like a card that you would either play 3 of or play none of. If you control a level 8 or higher Synchro monster, banish all monsters on the field except the monster on the field with the highest level. Also, the remaining face-up monsters on the field are unaffected by other card effects except their own until the end of the turn. If a Dark Dragon Synchro monster is Synchro summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Banishing your opponent's entire field is good. That is why we play Red Supernova Dragon. Being able to do it more than once, very, very good. Making your monsters unaffected by card effects at the same time, also insane. So Red Rain, really, really good card. Problem is it's not searchable, but it makes a strong case. For traps to be playable, they have to be insane, because they're so slow. Red Rain is insane. So maybe I'm gonna experiment. Terrors of the Overroot. This is the only staple in the deck besides the Pot of Extravagance. Target one card your opponent controls and one card in their graveyard. Send the card on the field to the graveyard, and if you do, set the other card to your opponent's field. It's a cute effect. Probably not worth playing right now, but it's good in Duel Links. And then lastly, we have Time to Stand Up. If a Dragon Synchro monster is on the field, special summon up to 2 monsters that are Resonator monsters or level 1 Dragon monsters from your deck. So that's either Resonators or specifically Majestic Red Dragon, I suppose. When a monster effect is activated while you control a level 10 or higher Dark Dragon Synchro monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, negate that effect, and if you do, one Synchro monster you control gains 2,000 attack until the end of the next turn. You can only use each effect once per turn. So Time to Stand Up is a negate. Pretty good. Negates are good. The ability to special summon tuner monsters from your deck, also very useful. So, and you can mill this card and then just use its grave effect. So, because its effect is in the graveyard primarily, that's pretty easy to use. I'd say that card's playable. There's the deck. Overall, I think this is a solid $20 in my hand, and I only paid $13 for it. So I'm very happy with this. My name is Sarafi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.